Hello. I thought I would actually just straight up make a video on Warframe, considering the ones you've probably seen don't actually explain anything, and you're just getting overwhelmed by a lot of different things that are happening at once. So I figured I'd actually come in and explain some stuff. So, this is your ship, the Orbiter, as we call it. This is where, like, your main little hub type deal. Here's navigation. This is where you pick and choose which missions to go on and where to go.
Witness, my control expands to a new sector.
Ignore that.
Except, you lack the capacity to stop me.
Ignore that.
To surrender or
That's
die.
something
We
that happens.
shall-
Shut up, Vol.
Okay.
Or fucking y'all. Oh my god. Anyway, that's something that happens much later. At base, this is your star system. Here, you won't have access to all of these right away. You'll be starting on Mars, if I remember correctly. Which I actually will you be starting on Mars or will you start on Mercury? I think you might be starting. No, I forget actually. Anyway, so you start either on Mars or Mercury or Mercury. I don't remember which. It might be Mars, but then you after you like go through, you get what's called a junction, and a junction is what helps you unlock a new planet. Or sometimes a place doesn't even have a junction, so like if you come down here you can just go down to Earth, or there's the Mars junction. So yeah, so maybe you start on Earth then, actually. I mean, that would kind of make sense, but I actually have not played through the beginning of this game in a very long time. So they probably changed shit around. But, yeah, you start on a planet, you, like, just farm stuff on it, get stuff, kill stuff, and then you go to a junction. It's like, okay, complete the Mercury junction and visit the Codex in your orbiter for that thing. And then defeat 150 Frontier Grineer enemies on Earth to get that. And once you complete all of these objectives, you get 9 rewards listed down below, and then you unlock the new planet, which in this case would be Mars. Lua is also a story-related area, aka the Moon. And you have 4 factions. I'm trying to see if I'm forgetting anyone. You have 4 factions, which there's the Grineer, which are these heavily militarized army-looking dudes that have armor and a lot of ballistics, and they're not really primitive, but they have a lot of like physical like bullet weapons and also like stuff like that. And then you have the Corpus, which are all energy based. They have shields, they have energy beams and like blasters and shit like that, and they're pretty cool. They're neat. They don't have a lot of health, which is why they have a ton of shields. And then you have what's called nope, that's still Grineer. Where are they? Are they in Phobos? Yeah. Then you have the Infestation, which is a hive like it's an infestation. It's like a plague that took control of, well, those are Corpus ships, but it's like a bug like the Flood in Halo, where it just took over both Corpus and Grineer alike. Actually, it's just those two, and it have just took them over for their own means. And yeah, unless they actually just straight up took out, is it Sedna? No. One of these planets used to just be an infestation planet. Unless it's just Deimos, no. Unless they just, yeah, I guess they all center them around Deimos. Okay. Yeah. And then you have over here, which is the Void. The Void is Orokin. Orokin are your predecessors. They are the faction slash the race that kind of built everything, including your like Warframe tech, but that's like story related stuff. There is actually a very in-depth story in this game that you might not care for at first, but once you start playing and actually start like learning stuff and like the lore behind everything, you might actually start getting invested in it. Here is your codex. This is where all your quests go. Like all your like every quest that you acquire will be here, and then you come here to accept them and to start them. Like your starting one. Where's the awakening? Vor's prize. I think that's like the first one you get. Oh, the after the awakening. Yeah, this is actually technically a scene of your first initial choice, because you have Mag, which like every Warframe has a specific theme behind it. You have Mag here in the center, which is focused around magnetism. You have Volt over here, which of course is focused on electricity. And you have Excalibur over here, which isn't really focused on one specific thing. He's kind of more like he's like the prototype, because he has like a dash and like another sword based skill, but he doesn't really technically have a thing. He's just a warrior, like I guess like a knight type of deal. But yeah, and you have Vor's prize, which is the next one you'll take after awakening, which is all story related. And up until you get to Stolen Dreams and the second dream specifically, this is where the story gets really heavy. These two right here. Also, you have the universe, which lets you know, like, tells you everything that you know so far between your Warframe's vehicles, the factions, the Lich, which you won't find out until later, mods, art gallery, fragments, weapons, all that stuff. This is... Oh, I think this is from the, whatchamacallit. I forgot what the place is called. But yeah, it's like different backstories and other like special things. And training, this will give you all the information you need for if you have like questions about certain things, like, oh hey, what's the types of damage? And like, okay, you have shields, armor, health. And then explains the types of damage, the types of physical damage. You have impact, puncture, and slash. And then you have elemental damages, which are heat, electricity, cold, and toxin. And the cool thing is, you can combine two of these to create a third. And then that explains resistances. Yeah. So heat and cold create blast, which knocks enemies down a lot more often. Radiation, which is heat and electricity, which will cause enemies to be able to attack each other, which is super, super helpful. You have gas, which is heat and toxic, which it's a gas. It's a gas. It's a green gas cloud, or whatever your color affinity is. It's a gas cloud that forms that will constantly deal vitality damage over time, health damage. You have magnetic, which is cold and electricity, which will do more damage against shields. You have viral, which is cold and toxic, which will do more damage against health. And you have corrosive, which is electric and toxic, which will do more damage against armor. Like actual, like shields are blue bars, armor is yellow bars, health is red bars. So generally you want corrosion for Grenier, magnetic for Corpus, and kind of just viral for toxic for infested rather. Infested don't really have, very few of them have armor, but I don't think any of them have shields. And then you come to your arsenal, which is where you pick your entire loadout. You have your your frames, and then you have all the ones I own, and then all the base ones that you can own if you want to pay for them. You can just pay for them right here with platinum, which is a premium currency that you buy with real money. I don't want to know how much money I've spent on this game. Because it's been a while. I started playing this game back when it was in beta, like 7 years ago. I forgot exactly how old Warframe is. But yeah, all of them have themes, and there's also a prime variant of each frame. Like for instance, like I still have my original Ivara. That's that. All that blood is an effect. I have a special effect on her because I have Ash Prime, I believe. Anyway, Ivara herself is a hunter. She uses a special quiver of tactical arrows and a cloaking thing that lets you turn invisible for as long as you channel it and as long as you have energy to do it. And she has a thing that also lets her remote control projectiles. Anything that is not a bullet, she can remote control. If it is not a bullet, if it is a grenade, if it's a rocket, if it's an arrow, if it's a thrown melee weapon like a boomerang, she can fucking actually physically control it and steer it and have it go where she wants it to go. That's not even her best ability. Her best ability is this Artemis bow.
Navigation has been updated with
Hello,
new
Lotus.
invasions. Chaos is spreading.
That's Space Mom. Don't worry about why you see her normally and I see her as a hologram. That is story related. It's trying to be as least spoilery as possible. But yeah, the Artemis bow is her ultimate. And once you unlock it, it also gets its own upgrades.
You have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
And here is the overwhelming process of modding your weapons and your warframes, because they also have these too. So you have basic mods like increased damage, or increased magazine capacity, or critical chance, or fire rate, and then you have like split chamber, which for multi-shot, and heavy caliber, which deals more damage but has less accuracy. Vital sense, which is better crit damage, crit delay for higher crit chance but less fire rate, stuff like that. And here you throw everything together to create a amazing weapon that will tear through everything, or almost everything, because you can't prepare for everything. Because sentients require their own specific builds, and I hate sentients. Anyway, your capacity goes up as you level up the weapon. As it starts out unranked at level 0 when you start, I don't think you'll have enough to put in anything. Not that you'll actually have any mods to put in it besides, because you need to find them first. But as you level it up, it'll get more capacity. Like level 1 will get you 1 capacity, level 2, level 3, level 4, and so on. Up to a max rank of 30. That will give you a 30 capacity. The reason I have 60 is because I have in it what is called a catalyst, an Orokin catalyst. This doubles your mod capacity, which is why I have 60 instead of 30. And also, you have green numbers and regular white numbers, which you may be wondering, what are those? Well, I will tell you. If we move that down here, we have a space that has a symbol. These are technically, I guess you kind of would technically consider them schools because of like the things you learn with your Tenno, but that's also story related. So these are what we like to call polarizations. And if you put a mod in the slot that has the same polarization as the slot, it will have the capacity use. However, if you put one inside it that is different, I actually can't because I don't have the capacity to do it. It'll actually multiply it by 1.5. So it'll actually, like the half the capacity, it will add on to it, which means that will become a 10 instead of a 5. Or actually, no. I think it'll become an 8. Excuse me. It won't double it. It'll become an 8 because it rounds up. It's like that goes down to 6, and this, like, half of 8 would be 4, but half of 10 would be 5. This would also be 5 because it's 9 because they round up. Also as a thingamabobber. So yeah. And there's a whole bunch of stuff you can like mess with to make your optimal build. And then there's another thing you can do called formaing, which you use one of those things called a forma, which is used for a lot of different things, to polarize a mod slot. So you can pick between one of the symbols to make that slot that type of polarization, which will also reduce your level back down to unranked for that weapon specifically. And then you will have to level it back up to 30 to maximize its use again. Now, that also works for Warframes. And at the start, you will not have a lot of inventory space, which sucks. It really, really does. So that's why I suggest to everyone that plays this game to spend a little bit of money on it. Not full price, mind you, because Plat is actually kind of expensive. Like, when you log in, sometimes your login bonus will be, like, a 10% off your next purchase of Plat, a 25, sometimes a 50, and the holy grail of coupons, the 75% off. And those only last for 2 days, whenever you get them. So, if you ever get a 75% off your next purchase of Plat coupon, I would highly suggest using it. But that's just me. That is the holy grail of coupons. I have only ever gotten that, I think, 3 times in all of my years of playing this game. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Mods also don't start amazing. Like here you have underneath it, you can see there are five little pips. That is the different levels it can be. And in order to upgrade them, you have to, first of all, select one of them. If you have more than one and you hit it, it'd be like, oh, how many do you want to select? So if you go for all of them, you'll only be able to sell them or dissolve them into endo, which is something you also need to upgrade your mods. However, if you only select one of them, you'll be able to fuse it to make it stronger. So this 15% chance goes from 15 to 30, all the way up to 90%. And that, of course, takes credits, which is your primary game currency, and endo, which is another thing you find or craft, technically. It's also something you get by dissolving other mods. It's a new system they implemented a couple years ago. I still don't fully agree with it, but it's fine because I have a ton. This stuff you don't really need to worry about. This is Ayatin's treasures and Ayatin stars. You'll find a lot of these in the world, and sometimes amber ones. Amber ones are more rare than cyan ones. Pick these up because you will use them later, but don't worry about them like immediately. This is your incubator where you incubate companions. Like, this is Futaba. This is my Kavat, which is a cat-like creature. You find eggs on Earth in 2 specific areas. I think one is E Prime, and I forgot the other one. And in order to do that, you need 1 egg, and you need an incubator power core, which is very expensive to make. As in order to make, there will be an entire quest line that'll show you how to do that. So actually, I won't even go into that because that's going to take a while. Primary, secondary, melee weapon. Your primaries range anywhere between, like, this is a shotgun. This is, like, just a shotgun. It's a grenadier shotgun, actually. That has 4 barrels. When you mod it correctly, it is incredibly powerful. It's one of the most powerful weapons in the game, or at least it used to be. You have a grenadier assault rifle, which can be 3-round burst or semi-auto, depending on if you're zoomed in or not. You have the Arca Plasmor, which is a corpus shotgun, which instead of actual pellets, it fires a wave of radiation, which is fun. You have the Astilla, which is, I think, a shotgun. It might actually be like a shotgun slash like semi-auto rifle that fires glass. Like it actually just fires glass because it is a main weapon in Gara's arsenal, and Gara is a Warframe themed entirely on glass. And you have the Batacore, which I believe is also a Corpus burst rifle. And you have the Baza. This is the Prime version. I never actually explained the Prime version. So, the Prime versions of weapons and Warframes have slightly altered either stats, polarizations, or I think that's it. Like slightly altered stats or polarizations to make them a little better. And also like Prime Warframes, when you go into the Void and you touch one of those death orbs that has the radiation lasers that spew, you will get like a huge amount of energy, if not full energy, if you just physically touch it, which is really cool. The Prime versions are supposed to be the Orokin versions and whatever. So I have a couple Prime weapons. The Baza is probably my favorite weapon in the game. It is a submachine gun that, when you mod it correctly, fires ridiculously fast. It actually kind of sounds and emulates a A10 Warthog's front-mounted nose gun. It is kind of incredible. Bratton is one of the weapons you'll be given a choice of starting with. You can start with one of two primaries, I believe, either the Bratton or the bow. The Paris. The Paris is the first bow you'll use. You can either use the Bratton, which is an assault rifle, or the Paris, which is a bow. And then yeah, the Bratton is a very reliable assault rifle. Built right, it can do a very it can do a variety of things. It's pretty decent. I like it a lot. Burstin is kind of similar to the Bratton, except it's a burst rifle, and it's, I think, more of a status weapon than actually, yeah, they're kind of almost like completely identical in their starting stats, except that's a burst weapon. The Corinth is a shotgun that also fires a canister that's an air burst grenade, which is one of my favorite weapons in the game. You have a Sabaris, which is a lever action rifle. You have a Dread, which is a bow, and it's one of the highest crit weapons in the game. Also, it is one of the primary weapons of the Stalker, which will only come after you start completing assassinations. Stalker is a very, very powerful frame. Ferox, which is a stick that fires a laser that you can also chuck the stick into the ground to create like a DOT field of some sort. I forget exactly. Fulmin is a weird electric gun. Yeah. Hex is a shotgun. Hema is like a infested kind of rifle type of deal. Ignis is just a flamethrower. It's literally just a flamethrower, but with different elementals effects. You can create it like you can make a radiation thrower, or a cold thrower, or an electric thrower, or pretty much anything you want it to be. Javelok is kind of the same as the Ferox, except it explodes when thrown. Latron is also a semi-auto rifle. It's very, very good. Lens is a bow that fires a arrow that creates a field and then explodes on contact. The Nagantaka is a crossbow, a semi-auto crossbow. Ignis is, for lack of a better description, a rocket launcher. Paris is a bow. That's the prime variant. Phantasma, I don't remember entirely. I haven't used it in a very long time. Proboscis Ceranos is another type of bow. The Proboscis Ceranos is a bow that fires infested globs that tendril enemies around it to it and then explode, which is very fun. Radka Ceranos is a specific Ceranos of a specific syndicate called the Red Veil. I'll get into syndicates later. Rubico is a sniper rifle, kind of both a like semi-auto and not really a bolt action, but like it's a pretty good sniper rifle. The Prime variant was one of the most powerful weapons in the game at one point. I don't know if it is anymore. The Soma. The Soma used to be the most used weapon in the entire game, and then they nerfed it because it was really really powerful. Like it's kind of a spooling assault rifle because you fire it and it gets faster the longer you fire it, and that's the magazine underneath, or actually the whole fucking half moon is the magazine, which the bullets will go up and they'll start to spit out here, and it's a really cool effect. I don't really think any other gun has like an external magazine that actually shows you what it's doing. This one does, and it's fucking amazing. Stradvar is another rifle that builds up a charge, I think. How can I say? Switch between high crit, semi-automatic, and fully automatic. Yeah, so it's a fully auto with a semi-auto like mode, and it's pretty good. Tenora is another spooling assault rifle that's kind of like the Soma except not as good. It's primary weapon of Octavia. Tiburon is another it's a burst rifle. Tigris is another shotgun that is pretty good last I remember. Tonkor is a grenade launcher. That's just what it is. Torrid is kind of an infested rocket launcher. It fires a glob of infested things that explode. Vectis is another semi-automatic sniper rifle. The Velt is another sniper rifle. I don't know. Oh, it's another semi-automatic rifle that's like pretty powerful. And then the Tsar literally fires cannonballs. It just fires cannonballs. Like there is no other way around it. Any other thing interesting in here? We have crossbow, submachine gun. There's your Bratton. That's a shotgun. That's a semi-automatic rifle. That's a sniper rifle. That fires a line, kind of like the plasma cutter in Dead Space. This. I love this gun. It's not very good, but I love it because it's basically the flat cannon from Unreal Tournament. That's exactly what it is. It shoots hot shrapnel. It's the flat cannon, and I love it. I don't have one anymore. This is new. I don't remember this. Kraka's a submachine gun. That's a semi-automatic sniper rifle. That's the primary assault rifle of the Grenadier, as is this one. This one, I think, is on the Seekers. I also like this gun a lot. The Karak is very, very cool. I like it a lot. Rap 600. I haven't used that in a while. I don't remember that exactly. Here we go. The MK1 versions. Oh yeah, Mistron is also a shotgun. The MK1 versions are weaker than their regular variants, but these are the weapons you will start with. The Bratton used to have a different design, and I liked its old design better. I like the color scheme, but I don't like the new design. But that's fine. Miter fires saw blades. Panthera also fires saw blades. The Penta fires mines. It's a mine thrower. Phage fires 7 beams that all converge in one spot. Simulacor fires a little black hole. That's also a fun weapon. And yeah, another sniper rifle. I want the Salta. I never got the Salta, and I want it. Yeah. And then you have your secondaries, which range anywhere between handguns. This is literally just a heavy handgun. It's basically a Desert Eagle. Pox, which are thrown infested grenades. Or infested. That would be better to say they're explosive kunai. That's the submachine gun with lightning powers. Though these are throwing knives, aka kunai, also throwing knives. That fires a wave of radiation. That's just explosive kunai. Those are 2 revolvers. These are twin submachine guns. And then there's akimbo versions of everything. Not everything, but most things. From submachine guns to revolvers to like handheld grenade launchers to beams to shuriken to kunai to basically fucking anything you want. And melee weapons. Melee weapons are a little weird because they all kind of swing kind of the same. Like you have staffs, you have giant weapons, which can be like hammers or great swords. You have regular swords. It's another staff. It's another staff. It's another staff. You have thrown weapons, which this one, it's kind of like a boomerang. And you have the sword and shield type weapons. You have a new type, which is a rapier. And you have the Nakana, which is a katana that you fight with from the hip from, which I love. It's my favorite thing ever. And then you have dual swords, fist style weapons for punching and kicking, a fan, it's a hammer, that's a sword on a chain, twin daggers, and Spira, which can also, it's also a gun. There's another one that's also very well known. Gunblade, I guess, would be the proper thing for it. It's called the Redeemer. There's a bunch more stuff in here. Yeah, that is a melee shotgun. Yeah, you can imagine how well that goes. Sylvan Aegis is pretty cool. And yeah, you have other fist blades. I had one of these. I like to call the Double Vega. And that's something you'll learn about later. That's your hacking device, which is another whole thing. That's part of the Lich stuff that you'll learn about. Yeah, and that's basically it. Like this is another companion space. This will be for your whatchamacallit, Sentinel, because you have different companions. You have your Kubro, which are space dogs, and you have your Kavats, which are space cats. And then you have Sentinels, which are little robots that also follow you and do specific things. Yeah. Here you have gear. You can use this to put in your consumables and your emotes and your glyph to put on the walls. Scanners are for like scanning things and getting information on your codex. That's an energy restorer. The synthesis scanner is for Cephalon Samaris, which is at the relays, which is kind of like a bounty target type of deal. Then you have your fishing sphere for Fortuna, one of the open world areas. Cephalon traps, tranq rifle for animals, and your Arcwing, which you'll learn about later, which basically turns the game into a space shooter, like a flight shooter type of deal. K-Drive, which is your skateboard, which you'll learn about later. Mining drill thing, specters, more fishing poles, and yeah. Emotes, lots of emotes you can put in. And here's your Arcwing. Well, here's my Arcwing. You'll start off with the Odinata, which is also fine. It's a balanced one. And then Arcwings also get their own specific weapons, which this is basically an autocannon. This is just in your hands. It's fun. And you have massive melee weapons too. And then your K-Drive. I don't actually have a launcher, and I don't know why. And then you have your loadouts, which you can save for save presets of stuff. You have your Kavat Kuba breeding, you have your Sentinel thing, you have your Foundry, which is where you make all your stuff, because in order to create frames and weapons and stuff, you need to build them if you don't buy them, which require a bunch of resources scattered throughout all the systems. And yeah, and there's like different helmets you can make for your different frames. Specters are cloned NPC spawns that you can make to help you. They copy the loadout of the frame that you're using when you like finish the build. Or I think it'll probably tell you. And there's more consumables, keys for the void that you won't need to worry about yet. Resources from the open world areas. And yeah. There's still a lot of stuff I have yet to make. I need to find some more parts. Also, the most important thing. Your level is determined by the stuff that you level up. So, yeah, that's my Tenno. Pay no attention to that. Your level is based on how much stuff you level. So you need to level everything. If you want to sell something or get rid of it to make room for something else, make sure you level it to 30 first before selling it and getting rid of it, because they will all contribute to your overall mastery rank. And each mastery rank has a test that you need to perform to make sure that you're ready, I guess. And if you complete the test, you will go up a rank. But if you fail the test, you'll have to wait an entire day before you can try again. And don't worry about getting excess XP that won't carry over. It all carries over. So if you fail your test, you can still keep playing, you can still keep leveling stuff up. It'll all carry over to the next rank when you complete your mastery rank test. The max mastery rank used to be, I think, 30, but now I think they have legendary ranks because they have stuff that goes over that. Pay no attention to that. You'll get different areas of your ship while progressing through different story quests. I won't. I'm not going to explain any of those. That's fine. You can probably find gameplay online. At your codex, this is the marketplace where you can spend platinum to buy any of their pretty much almost anything. Some stuff you need to make, and the prime stuff you need to actually find and crack open relics to get the parts for. But some stuff you can get. What I would not suggest is Prime Access, because Prime Access, it's where they give you the new Prime stuff that they made, but it is ridiculously expensive. You actually can't see the overlay. To get just the new Prime weapons without building them or finding the relics for them is $50 worth of platinum. To get the weapons, the new glyphs, and the frame itself is $80. It's kind of nuts. So I wouldn't suggest doing Prime Access. I have done it before. I have done it once, back when I was able to actually make money. I did it for Necros, because I love Necros. He is a frame that specializes in raising the dead and desecrating corpses. Yeah. But in here you can find frames, you can find skins, bundles, sindanas, which are the capes that go on your back, armor sets, necromechs, those are open world stuff, skins, helmets, arc wings, animation sets, emotes, a bunch of different weapons and skins for weapons, equipments. Railjack is a ship. It's a new type of gameplay style where you actually command a starship with a crew that can either be other people or AI, which they just added. And yeah, it's actually kind of fun. I won't lie, it's actually pretty fun. Um, Drones, your sentinels, more slots, which you'll need more slots. Oops. Um, Gear, color palettes, because you start off with a very, very limited color palette, unfortunately. It's like you start off with just this line. You don't even get access to the other colors. Just this middle line you have access to as far as colors are concerned. You have to actually spend money, or there are certain event palettes that come around, like the Easter palette, or this one was the Valentine's Day palette, that you can buy, I think, for 1 credit, which you can buy, and then the Halloween one, which you can buy for 1 credit, and they will give you to them. They'll give them to you for. Oh, there's the Valentine one. So this must have been the recent Valentine one, because this one's like, it's, of course it's my favorite palette because it's literally nothing but pink and different shades of pink. And you have your St. Patty's Day. You have your whatchamacallit, the 4th of July, Halloween, and you have other ones like a specific Corpus themed one, stuff from the dojo, which is your clan area. Eximus, which are like Orokin type of. No, they're enhanced enemies. Eximus are enhanced enemies that have like different stuff. Ice, Grenier themes, Infested, Lotus, aka Space Bomb. Here's the Orokin theme. Storm, which is a generic like Desert Storm type theme. You have default colors from a bunch of Warframes, more default colors from a bunch of Warframes, and then Twilight, which is purple and stuff. Yeah.
A fearsome appearance, operator. You will strike terror in your enemies.
And you have emblems and stuff you can put on your shoulders. I don't have one on. Oh, before they used to remove that. Now it's kind of indented in. Okay, that's why I don't keep one up there. Okay. Front sigil. Sigils are neat because if they're part of a syndicate, they increase your syndicate standing gain from them. There's also a mastery sigil that will display your current mastery on your chest, and that's a newer version that's more shiny. Yeah. Back sigil, that's my syndicate sigil. That's the one that helps me get more. Also, this is also where the bloodshed one comes from. It's like, this will not show up as you're in a mission like this. You'll appear normally. But as you start taking down enemies with melee, you'll start accumulating more blood on you. It's pretty cool. It's specifically from a specific frame. And you have different helmets you can wear. Like, if you have the Prime version of the frame, you can also go back and wear the previous version's helmet. She's adorable. I love her. Her default helmet is the only one I really like, but the Prime one goes well with the rest of her, which is why I use it. But she's so adorable. I love her. Sindanas are your capes. I have nice flowing. I should actually like fix that because that's more of a lavender. Damn it! I can never get like the right color for anything. I'll fuck with it later. Sindanas are like different capes and such. Like that's just fire. A Kuva cloak. And a solstice themed stuff that you get for free, kind of. I think this is my first Sindana. Yeah, I think that was my first. And that one, which there's the flame here that increases in intensity as you make stealth takedowns. Sigils, attachments, like your armor, like the solstice plate. Wear different armors on your chest and on your arms and on your legs, which I have different stuff. Yeah. And then your ephemera, which is a effect that like just generates from you. I don't know how to get these. I don't remember how I got either of these. I think I got these for free. But yeah. That's kind of it. I don't think there's anything left for me to explain. And then you're just gonna have to also this is where you view all the relics you have, which is like the relics you find you can crack open by going to a fissure to get void traces to open, which will give you a small chance of getting one of these. These are the bronze level things, which have the most probability. These are the 2 silvers, and this is the gold, which has the lowest chance, which is the rare. And you spend void traces to increase the drop chance of the other 2, and stuff like that. I think that's it. Without actually going into a mission, which I don't think I need to do. This is PvP and also the weird soccer game they made. I've done a little bit of this like with a friend in practice, but I've never done any of the PvP. I am scared to go out there. That's your news. That's just the thing. I figured plexus. Oh, this is for my railjack stuff. Right. I forgot about that. Different stuff I've displayed around my orbiter. And here's your syndicates, which...
You are a fire, as feared as you are respected.
Thank you. These are your, like, different factions that you don't want to get involved with too quickly, because as you start getting one happy, their opposed and enemy factions will start disliking you. And if they dislike you up to a certain point...
A shame to see such potential squandered.
If they dislike you up to a certain point, they will just straight up send death squads after you. Yeah.
You are on the verge of a new truth.
No, I'm not. Shut up. It's fine. And each faction has a different enemy type that they send after you. You can get to a point where you are friendly with, I think, 4 of them, but 2 of them will definitely send death squads after you. If, like, yeah. I used to have Steel Meridian on my side because I did a lot of Red Veil, but as I started doing Parent Sequence, they started not liking me. Because...
We stand behind you. Let's build a brighter future.
As you get increased standing with your guys,
this is what we offer.
You can get special rewards from them, like Moa Specters. So you can build Moas, those little mechanical things with 2 feet, to help you. Sigils to get more standing. Relic packs, which I'm probably actually just going to buy one of.
Excellent taste.
Because I need specific things. Parts for weapons. And very specific special mods. Like, these mods are very specific for specific weapons. Like, this is specific for the Acrid. That's for the Grinlock. That's for the Lanka, which is a beam sniper rifle. And that's a Spectra. That's for the Spectra. And then we get into all the special, like, unique mods for the Warframes, which can alter your abilities and stuff. Like Ivara. Enhanced Quiver. Dash Wire grants allies 100% critical damage. Cloak Arrow has a 100% chance to prevent status effects. So, while I have that equipped, those take into effect and modify my tactical arrows. Piercing Navigator. Each hit increases the projectile's critical chance by 10%, up to a max of 50%. So that is for the remote controlled projectiles. If I shoot an arrow and I pass through somebody, with this active, I will gain 10% more critical chance, up to an extra 50% if I go through like 5 different people, which is rare, as I usually only go through one. And then this one is a really helpful one for spy missions, where you can literally just bypass laser barriers and not activate the alarm, and gain extra movement speed while cloaked. And this one just turns your Artemis... I never explained the Artemis bow, because like you can fire like 7 arrows in a line, and if you charge it, it'll just change the angle. This one will make it so that you only fire 1 arrow that does not punch through, but it has extra crit chance on headshots. And then, yeah. And then later on, you get special Syndicate weapons, special Syndicate armor and Syndanas, emotes, captious things for your photo mode, and Exilus weapon adapters, which gives you an Exilus mod slot for specific other mods. There's a lot to this game. There is actually an incredible amount of in-depth shit to this game that it's taken me almost an hour to explain. But I hope everything is like coherent and you can understand everything. This took way too long to make. Also, there's the Nightwave stuff, which is a kind of murder mystery type deal.
Welcome. And
also dailies and weeklies. It's pretty cool. Yeah. The Glassmaker. The Glassmaker was a murder mystery thing. That was cool. I like that. That was very fun. I don't remember any of these other ones. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, like the Nightwave lady said. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's it. Okay, bye.